everyone, welcome to Nigerian Children TV. I'm Nelly Ipono.
I'm Eunice Olaleye.
How are you doing, Eunice?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. I'm missing the updates in our educational system.
Which of them?
Okay, let me give you a brief on it, okay? The federal government of Nigeria has now approved a more flexible admission guideline for tertiary institution in Nigeria, which was spearheaded by the Minister of Education, Mr. Tunji Alausa, which is making math a non-compulsory subject for art students into the entry level university. And when I saw that, I didn't really know what to make of the news. I would say that back then, I was not a fan of math. I remember in school then, whenever I see my math teacher, I'm not happy. Like, it can be any other subject, but not math. But what my school did then was, they had to add further maths into our syllabus. And I was wondering, why? I don't even know the basics of maths. And now you want me to further into the math. Like, what am I doing here? And my grades were not encouraging at all. I think I was school so that I'm like, no, let the student just take maths instead of them forging into it. I won't say that was because there were people in art class also that loved maths. I remember this girl, Beauty, she loved maths. She was ready to go for maths. But not people like me. So what's your take on it?
Honestly, firstly, I want to say that government making this compulsory, they must have had something in mind. There must have been something that probably brought about that. And I think one of the things that led to that would be the fact that students that are qualified for a particular course probably being held back because they do not meet the requirement for math for certain universities, and they will have to stay at home for maybe 1 year or even more for as long as they can meet the requirements of the school, right, based on the course that they are doing. What do I think about making math optional? I think it's a very interesting approach because the consequences are going to be more than the benefits. And what do I mean? It will make students more indisciplined towards math. So I don't think that in secondary school they are going to make art students not take mathematics because math is a compulsory subject for all classes.
Very
JS1, JS3, SS1 to SS3, all of you are going to take maths. So now saying that it is less compulsory, I don't think it's going to be very effective, or it might not fly really fast. Why? Because schools know the importance of maths. They know that math is an integral part of our lives. We're going to need maths regardless of the level that we find ourselves. Whether you're an art student or you're not an art student, you're going to need maths. Right? I'm talking about the fact that you didn't like mathematics. I know a lot of art students that didn't like mathematics, right? But there were other art students too that I knew who loved mathematics. I remember that there was this classmate of mine in SS3. She loved math. She was an art student and she wanted to do economics. I was almost surprised. I thought it was even law because she came up as this person that was really outspoken and looked like she loved the legal aspect of the country or the legal aspect of life. Then she came and said, oh, it's economics I'm applying for. And she did very well. She entered school and she has even graduated. So I don't know if it's limited to people not liking mathematics, but I get the sentiments of the government because the career focus of people also matters. There are people that entered art class because of the career focus. Okay, this is career focus I'm going for. I don't think I'm going to need maths. They probably didn't even dream of maths. They didn't even think that, okay, maths was an option or it wasn't an option. Right? And they entered and they're not seeing maths. Like, who did this fit for me?
That's why it's still a crazy dynamic because now it's just the entry level. What of it when you're in? Because when you get into
you're
school,
going to meet maths.
You're meeting maths. I remember in 100 level we had a course. I saw math and I was like, what am I doing?
You'll see maths.
What's my relationship with
You
math
will.
here? 200 level. I still saw math again. Final year research, and I was like, now I know that I need math. I can't do without math. Then after school, I went for a job interview, a teaching job interview. And the first question I saw for written was math.
Follow this
I
again.
can't do without math.
See, we really cannot do without maths. It's an integral part of our lives, like I mentioned. And you know, she said she meant in the final year. Before you reach final year, you need maths. I hope you know. So when you realize, you think that okay, you've already crossed that ordeal of entering university without maths, you realize that you have bigger fish to fry when you enter school. Because I remember when I was in school, we shared courses with art students. I was an economics student, so and we shared courses with art students. We met math. A number of us did math together.
Just remember that there are also faculty courses too. It has math in it.
True. So we used to say, oh, because government has made it not compulsory, made it compulsory. See, math is an integral part of our lives, and I used to tell people that you don't have a bad subject. There's no bad subject. There is only a teacher that is not teaching you properly. Someone said they are bad teachers, but I don't want to say they are bad teachers. I just think that.
So it's like math teachers has a narrative.
Not even math teacher. I'm just talking generally. Says that when you don't understand the subject, students are very quick to label it on their teachers. Oh, my teacher is a very poor teacher. My teacher's method is not great. Okay, teacher's method is not great. Great. We have tons of teachers on YouTube. We have tons of teachers everywhere that you can always seek help and advice from. And it's a digital space. You can always find these people easily, right? So that was the context that I meant, that if you're not understanding something, you're like, oh, I'm an art student, I don't like mathematics. Well, you have to do it, right? So, and I feel like this whole idea of making it not compulsory is going to make students indisciplined, because let's not even lie. Hardly will you find a secondary student that is very futuristic, secondary students that thinks long term. All they're thinking about is, oh, right now, I don't want stress, so anything that will stress me, I don't want. Now, math is not compulsory. I'm going to film math as much as I want. But you need to realize that anything that is worth doing at all is worth doing well. And also, it doesn't mean that we don't have students that are very introspective, students that are thinking about beyond now. Because I remember I had classmates, a bunch of them already had an idea what they wanted to do as at SS1, GS3. There were some of them that were music producers, there were some of them that were musicians, releasing music steadily, that they were telling us, hey, but help me to share my music on Facebook, help me to share my music on WhatsApp. Until today, they are in that field. In fact, they are doing way better than they started, right? So we have students that are introspective, but students love easy life. Do you know times when rain is falling and you have math as the second period and you check the math teacher's class and you see that it's not around? What do? A bunch of us are always excited that our math teacher is not around, except you know those math teachers that come rain, come shine. There's an earthquake, there's turmoil, there's chaos. You will find them in school. In fact, they will come very early to school. So students love anything that will just make them free. They don't want anything that will stress their pretty head. But of course, I mean, I think it's going to stir up.
I think the federal government is trying to look at the creative part of this, because a lot of art students, when you take the art class, think of creativity. I'm not saying
math is creative.
I'm not saying that the other classes are not creative, but art students are always creative. I remember that they would tell us that art students, there is an inner spirit within you. You have to bring it out. So I think that's it for art class. We're just about the creativity, and you said math is creative.
Math is creative.
Explain on that.
Because
I haven't seen the creative part of math.
Math is very creative. I think if you look deeply, you will see that math is creative. Because have you seen certain topics that it takes more than one formula, or it takes more than one method, more than one approach to get the same answer? Imagine I'm using one approach, Kende, of course, this is hypothetically, right? Kende is using another approach, Timmy is using another approach, and all of us come together and we see that we have the same answers. There's the long form approach, there's the short form approach, there's the medium form approach, whereby you go through a very long formula, you go through a very short formula, you go through a not so long formula, and we all arrive at the same answer. See, math is very creative, and the way it engages your brain, it has to be studied.
I think the only time that math has been creative was, in school section, the first term, the second term. You see that first week, the second week, that's when creative. But from fourth, sixth week, there is nothing creative.
It's very creative
for me.
Especially the angle and depression. Even further math is creative. The almighty formula. I remember when they said, oh, almighty formula was very, very crazy. I loved that formula. You see, I knew how to get the formula, because there were sometimes in the exams, they would trick you. They will not tell you that, okay, use almighty formula. They will say, derive almighty formula first. Then use the formula that you derived to answer the question.
You really like maths.
I don't just think it loves me back anyways.
But people in the science class are like, then English should not be compulsory, because imagine, I want to study medicine, I want to study engineering, I want to study architecture. So I don't think English is compulsory.
You don't need
to. And now I'm wondering,
you do.
like, it now it's a chaos, because now science is like, okay, then English is not compulsory.
No.
Because now they've made math not compulsory. our students into the entry level.
I don't think we should take this out of context. Don't let us take it out of context. The reason for taking math out of the equation is because there are students that don't meet certain academic requirements just because of math. They meet every other requirement except math. And because it has caused a setback, people don't enter schools whenever they desire to, just because of math. But math is not a demon or anything.
But you know that right now, it's not a debate.
It's not a debate though. But saying English should be out of the picture. No. When you're speaking to people there, it's not English you're speaking to them, or you're speaking science to them. And by the way, science is also very creative.
Yes.
I think science is very creative. When you mentioned it and we were talking about arts, I was saying commercial. Science is also a very creative course. I mean,
that's why I said that. That's why I said that. I'm not saying that other classes
of course.
Other classes. Because for you to mix chemicals, for you to know that, okay, if I mix this chemical, I mix this chemical,
I'm going to get this reaction.
If I mix this, it's going to be an explosion.
Exactly. So please, English care. You need English. Who should be studying English if not you? Joking apart.
Well, I just want to see the long term of this new adjustment because definitely there's also the good side and the bad side of this. So I just wait to see the outcome of this new adjustments in our educational system. So
let us be chaotic like you mentioned, because people want to lean more into indiscipline and laziness. People want to start acting nonchalant, forgetting that whatever you find the answer to, just do it well.
I'm thinking that if there's an introduction into the entry level, meaning when you're in the school already, there needs to be an adjustment on that also.
There has to be an adjustment, and it's not everybody that will catch up on the adjustments. What are schools that realize that, okay, what the federal government is saying, I'm not sure that it can really fit into our long-term goals, the goals that we've been, standards that we've been setting for our school over the years.
And I think schools also have a say on this, right?
They do. Everybody has a freedom of speech, right?
Everybody have a say on this.
Exactly. Because when you enter school, you will see math. I don't even know what to do it. You will see math because it's an integral part of our lives.
Okay, so to all the art students and other students, we wish you the best of luck. And I will still advise that check math out. Okay?
Check it out too. I do it well. If you're in school and you're doing math in secondary school, do it well. Don't use this as an excuse to satisfy your urge to toss it aside.
Really, this has been an insightful
conversation.
It's been I really love this. So we still don't know what direction the federal government is heading towards this new adjustment. So to keep more tabs on the happenings in Nigeria and in our educational system, please visit our website at www.tribuneonlineng.com. Also, if you've stayed true without subscribing to our YouTube channel, please do so. Please subscribe. The subscription bell is not too far from you, so you don't miss an episode, okay? Until next time, I'm Nelly Polo.
I'm Eunice Olaleye.